Welcome back to part 2 of What If Kid Naruto Had Nanotechnology. In this episode, we'll explore the thrilling conclusion to the story we started in part 1. Will Naruto be able to harness the power of advanced technology for good? Or will his thirst for power lead him down a dark path? Join us as we dive deep into the possibilities of combining anime with science fiction, and see where it all leads right here on our channel. But before we start, if you like my videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that naughty bell to get updated on my latest videos. This is Omnisensei signing in.
Never tell a fact that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn, know I got stacks in the lab, taking bitches straight for another cat.
After the day ended, Shikamaru bid farewell to Choji and headed home to the Nara compound. The lessons were incredibly dull, and with Naruto snoozing beside him in class, no one bothered to disturb him. All he wanted was to go home and continue resting. Upon entering his house, Shikamaru was greeted by his mother, Nara Yoshino. "Finally, you're here. I prepared dinner early, and your father wants to talk to you." "Ugh, there goes my plan to rest," Shikamaru grumbled to himself, feeling annoyed by the interruption. Despite his frustrations, he made a beeline for his father's study and knocked on the door. "Come in," his father's voice beckoned. Inside, Shikamaru found his father, Nara Shikaku, sitting beside a shogi board, engaged in a game against himself. Upon seeing his son, he swiftly arranged the pieces back to their starting positions. "Playing against yourself again, father?" Shikamaru asked. "What else can I do, Shika? You're the only opponent I find worthy," his father replied. "That's not true. You just want to see my face when I lose," Shikamaru thought to himself, frustrated by his father's lack of effort. Nonetheless, he took a seat and made his move on the board. While playing, Shikamaru's thoughts drifted to Naruto. Today, Naruto had reverted to his usual behavior. He arrived late to class, slept through the morning session, bothered Sakura about a date, and even picked a fight with Sasuke. Well, except for the reading part, he was still flipping through books. "So, how is Sasuke?" his father asked him. "He's broody. Didn't engage in any conversations all day, scowling at everyone, ignoring anything that isn't useful for his fighting skills. He focused on Taijutsu class today." Silence followed. "What do you know about Naruto, Dad?" Shikamaru inquired after a few moves on the shogi board. "What about him?" his father replied. "Well, for one, can you explain why people treat him differently?" "You don't have the clearance to know that," Shikaku responded, knowing that would be enough for his son to figure out an answer. He chose not to say anything more. "Oh," Shikamaru sighed, realizing that the information provided wasn't sufficient for him to form his own conclusions. "Naruto can call the Hokage Jiji. He owns a house despite being an orphan, and I don't have the clearance to know about him. Naruto must be some kind of asset. But what exactly?" Shikamaru pondered, needing more time to think. "Did something happen with Naruto today?" Shikamaru asked his father. "Nothing serious. I just wanted to know about his treatment from the instructors and the villagers. That's all," his father replied. Soon, they returned to their previous conversation about Sasuke. Naruto sat in his house with his eyes closed, while Nano conducted chakra experiments. He finally learned how to spell the word correctly. Until last week, he had been saying Cactra. So embarrassing, Naruto thought to himself. Regarding the experiments, he simply needed to push or move chakra inside his body, similar to when performing the transformation technique. Then Nano would try different methods of utilizing the chakra within his body. Nano couldn't manipulate chakra outside of Naruto's body. Operation I. Applying raw chakra to is. Analyzing. Observe changes. Optimizing. Trial 1. Optimizing chakra to match your is. Repulsion detected. Rectifying the damaged cells. Restored. Trial 2. Failure. Rectifying the damaged cells. Restored. Trial 8. Experiment successful. Skill named. Enhanced hearing. Operation 2. Applying raw chakra to nose. Experiment successful. Skill named. Enhanced smell. Naruto realized one clear truth. Applying raw chakra to body parts was dangerous. Fortunately, Nano could dampen Naruto's sense of touch, preventing him from feeling any pain. Otherwise, he would have been writhing in agony. After numerous experiments, Nano managed to manipulate the chakra in Naruto's ears and nose to develop two unique sensing techniques: enhanced hearing and enhanced smell. Naruto had already experienced enhanced hearing with Nano's assistance, without using chakra. However, it was nothing compared to what he was currently doing with chakra. Naruto could now hear with exceptional clarity and over long distances, even picking up frequencies outside of his normal range. With the combination of chakra and Nano's assistance, Naruto could discern and decipher various sounds and conversations within a 100-meter range. Nano also mentioned that, with enough practice, Naruto could extend his hearing range to encompass the entire village. However, Naruto doubted such a feat was possible. What he had achieved already defied many expectations. Nano had to alter the chakra into different frequencies and quantities for each organ. Naruto's enhanced hearing even allowed him to pick up different radio signals used for communication. All chakra modifications had to occur before before the chakra left the Tenketsu points. Nano couldn't regulate or control the chakra once it left those points. Adapting to enhanced hearing might take Naruto a while, but Nano could utilize it to its full potential. It could be used for lie detection, ultra hearing to detect heartbeats, sound tracking, and even echolocation. Enhanced hearing alone could serve as a valuable sensor, but Naruto needed training to fully harness its abilities. With enhanced smell, Naruto's olfactory senses were heightened compared to before. Even without enhancement, his sense of smell had been above average. But now, he could even detect pheromones released by humans and animals, including those emitted by his own body. He couldn't differentiate the smells without Nano's help. Nano decided to document various scents for future reference, as they might prove useful for tracking and identifying different odors. These experiments continued throughout the night and into the morning. To keep Naruto awake, Nano suppressed the hormones necessary for sleep. Since Naruto had requested to sleep during his classes, Nano obliged. Even if Naruto were asleep, Nano could still listen to the lectures and record important details. 2 weeks later, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Sandaime Hokage, drummed his fingers on the table as he read the monthly report placed in front of him. It contained details of the missions assigned to the Anbu guarding Naruto. He made sure to read this particular report every month. The Anbu had noticed a change in Naruto's behavior as soon as they saw him using the transformation technique to enter the academy library. The Anbu were aware that Naruto could perform the jutsu. It was the only jutsu taught to academy students in their first 3 years, and many struggled to perform it correctly. Naruto's proficiency didn't go unnoticed by the higher-ups. As for the library, Hiruzen was well aware of Naruto's predicament, as the boy had complained to him countless times, and he reviewed the Anbu reports monthly. He had repeatedly promised Naruto that he would address the issue, but never followed through. He didn't want an intelligent Jinchuriki. He wanted a blindly loyal pet who would do as he was told. He also had a degree of concern for Naruto, which was why he stationed Anbu guards to intervene when people went too far with their mistreatment of Naruto. After a week, Naruto's routine had returned to normal, with some lingering changes in his behavior. However, overall, it seemed unchanged. This change in behavior only occurred after the Uchiha massacre. Could it be Itachi's doing? Hiruzen pondered but quickly dismissed the possibility. Itachi was no. He was completely loyal to the village. Even if he considered the treatment of the Jinchuriki unjust, he would have allowed it for the greater good of the village. Perhaps it was Danzo. Hiruzen gritted his teeth. He didn't condone all of Danzo's methods, but he acknowledged that they were sometimes necessary. However, the Jinchuriki situation was not one of those instances. Ball, rabbit, rat, Hiruzen called out. 3 Anbu emerged from the shadows in the corners of the room. Additional Anbu remained on standby in the Hokage's room, with 2 permanently assigned as his security, accompanying him wherever he went. I'm increasing the guard detail for Naruto Uzumaki. I want to know what books he reads, who he speaks to, where he goes regularly, and if he has a daily schedule. Assign veteran ninja to guard him, and I expect a daily report. Hi, the 3 ninjas acknowledged before blending back into the shadows. How was Naruto able to sneak past the tuning guards in the library without getting caught repeatedly? Hiruzen wondered. He considered it a potential false alarm, perhaps attributed to Naruto's hyperactivity. Most of the books the boy read were about Konoha's history and previous Hokage. Soon enough, he would have the answers. Hiruzen also felt the need to visit Naruto and display his grandfatherly affection. He realized he should spend more time observing Naruto through his crystal ball, rather than focusing solely on the bathhouses. Flashback. Meanwhile, Nano had noticed the Anbu tailing Naruto during the first week after the infusion of nanites. It deduced that the masked ninjas were Hokage's bodyguards, and only the Hokage could give them orders. Therefore, Nano took measures to conceal Naruto's improvements. It ensured that Naruto's behavior returned to normal as soon as training began. From that day onward, Naruto trained his chakra control and enhanced hearing to expand its range. Eventually, Nano developed a technique called echolocation, emitting short bursts of sound at frequencies inaudible to humans. This allowed Naruto to locate distant or invisible objects. Humans or animals might find such a task challenging, but Nano could receive and process the sounds at a much faster rate, providing a comprehensive understanding of the surroundings. Unbeknownst to Naruto, the Hokage had also taken notice of his recent changes and decided to increase his protection. As Naruto continued his training and exploration of his newfound abilities, the Anbu diligently monitored his activities and reported back to the Sandaime Hokage. In the coming weeks, Naruto's enhanced hearing, enhanced smell, and echolocation skills would prove invaluable in various situations, helping him gather information, track targets, and navigate through challenging environments. Little did he know that these abilities would soon play a crucial role in his journey as a shinobi, bringing him closer to uncovering the mysteries of his past and shaping his destiny. As Naruto honed his skills and faced new challenges, the Anbu's watchful eyes would remain ever vigilant, ensuring his safety and the preservation of the village. The young Jinchuriki was on the cusp of something extraordinary, and the world of shinobi would soon bear witness to his remarkable growth. With his enhanced senses and the support of Naino, Naruto was ready to face whatever obstacles lay ahead, determined to prove his worth and forge his own path as a ninja of Konohagaka. The whispers of his journey would spread throughout the village, marking the beginning of an epic tale that would leave an indelible mark on the shinobi world. Hiruzen visited Naruto's apartment to give the monthly stipend amount. Shiji Naruto ran towards the Hokage and hugged him. Naruto welcomed him with a big smile and regaled his adventures and pranks he had done that month. To Naruto, Hiruzen is his Jiji and is his best friend, so Naino did not want to affect his psychology by giving its hypothesis before breaking him out of his character. "What do you say we get out here and go get something to eat?" "My treat," Hiruzen asked Naruto. "Yatta ramen," Naruto shouted and dashed towards the door. In the ramen stand, Naruto had been asked to eat as much as he can by Naino. This was the first quest given by Naino that Naruto liked. He happily obliged. Since Naruto was malnourished, Naino wanted to collect the nutrient required for Naruto slowly. But since the situation presented itself, Naino made use of the situation. 20 bowls of ramen. Bowls kept coming, and Naruto did not stop eating. Normally Naruto's maximum capacity was 7 bowls for a 7-year-old. But with Naino digesting the food and distributing its nutrients as soon as the food entered his stomach, he was able to eat so much. Hiruzen and others looked at the scene with wide eyes. 20 bowls of ramen finished by a 7-year-old kid. Unbelievable. After the last, Naruto stopped ordering for more. Well, Naino said it was enough, plus his stomach appeared bloated. "Well, Naruto, that is your new record." 20 bowls of ramen, Chuchi said from the other side of the counter. And Hiruzen agreed to that. Like a bottomless pit going on and on without break. While walking back to Naruto's home, Hiruzen asked some questions, more like an interrogation, but in a pleasant manner. "What are you doing these days, Naruto?" "I am reading all about the previous Hokage from the books that are in the library." "Oh, you were able to get into the library. Last time you told me that the ninja at the front desk not allowing you. I used transformation technique to change into my classmate. They didn't stop me at all." Naruto smiled widely while rubbing his neck with his hands. Like this, Hiruzen continued to ask many questions to Naruto, who answered the questions with the displayed script written by Naino. To not expose any of the lies, Naino made sure to control his facial muscles, so that the Sandaime could not identify any lies. Time skip 6 months. Naruto's second year in the academy. June 2nd, year-72. Naino display my profile. Name: Naruto Uzumaki. Age: 7. Height: 120 centimeters. Weight: 22 kilograms. Chakra: above Chunin levels, not quantified accurately. Chakra control: 20% chakra wastage. Level: Genin. Naruto's days went on usual. Well, like going to academy 10 minutes late. Sleeping in class, scoring badly in tests, taking rest on Hokage statues on the mountain, doing obstacle training in the forest beyond Hokage Mountain, and lastly Ichiraku Ramen. That was how it looked for the Anbu following him and to other people of the village. It looked usual, but the reality was anything but that. Naino would wake up Naruto at 0500 to start meditation. It is a daily chore, not a day gap, which he did not miss a single day. He slept in the sitting position instead of meditating during the early days. While he didn't really like the activity at the beginning, he came to love it as time went on. For one, his mind and heart were finally at peace. Before this, he always had a nagging feeling whenever hearing people talk about him, curse him. His mind wanted to lash out at them in revenge, but his heart always prevailed, pushing all those negative feelings, the dark mass of hatred, to the back of his mind. It was ready to burst out at any time before. Even now, after months of doing meditation, he could feel the presence of darkness in his heart. It is subdued, but it is still present there. Second, he had better control of his emotions. Yes, emotion. When Naino told Naruto to keep his progress secret, he didn't want to. His infantine mind wanted some recognition from others, but on Naino's insistence, he kept his improvement secret, scoring low in the test. When he fully knows the answers, even if 1 or 2 answers were correct, it was marked as wrong by the academy teachers. But Naruto never voiced his opinions. Naruto wanted to lash out at the teachers in the academy, wanted to prank them daily, getting his butt kicked during Taijutsu, when he could have won easily, made him angry every time. But now he could control those emotions, or rather exhibit those emotions at the right place and right moment. Like all of his hatred went into training. Whenever he was doing physical training, he would think of those stairs, glares, isolation, which made him focus on the training more. It only took him 6 months to achieve this. Still, he doesn't have perfect control over his emotions yet. For third, better chakra control and conversion/molding. With better chakra control, he could perform a jutsu with the minimum amount of chakra. Nano had already determined he has more chakra than an average academy student. Naruto still hadn't been taught clone technique or replacement technique, so he didn't face the issue still. Chakra is raw energy, and when a ninja expels chakra through tenketsu to do a jutsu, it converts the raw chakra to their expected result. Chakra can be sticky, repulsive, needle, thread, long, small, sponge, wind, earth, lightning, fire, water, etc. It changes into whatever the jutsu caster wanted it to be if the caster knows the right techniques. And meditation helped Naruto in molding his chakra faster as it leaves the tenketsu point. And last, he got better at lying. Yes, lying came easy to him now. Lying is a necessary skill for a ninja. That was the greatest benefit for Nano too, because however hard it tried, Naruto always preferred being honest and truthful. Somehow it overcame that challenge. After meditation comes tests. Yes, tests like many. Verbal memory test, where Nano displays a word for 2 to 3 seconds and he had to recite the word. This goes on for a minute or two at least. Well, Nano did have an eidetic memory, storing every moment of Naruto's time. But Nano wanted Naruto to be a better ninja to become a Hokage to complete the first task. Then number memory, just like a verbal test. But here a long list of numbers was shown first, and he has to recall the numbers. Cognitive test, emotion test, visual reasoning, etc. Check out cognitive skills test or brain skills test to get a better idea of this para. These tests went on for another 1 hour. It was difficult just like meditation, and his scores were abysmal for weeks before he even saw some improvement, but Naruto had come through in the end. Still, the results were nowhere near the Nano's desired level, but he was improving quickly. After the test, a light workout where Nano would help facilitate all the muscles in Naruto's body. Nano did not put any emphasis on heavy workout, rather only focused on building Naruto's flexibility and stamina. For the bones and muscles, Nano can alter the strength and toughness by different kinds of biological processes. He could not understand more than 5 words Nano spoke regarding the process. The only thing he needed to know was, he just need to practice a fighting technique that Nano would provide later, and instill it into his muscle memory. Naruto's food intake too was changed. He could only have Ichiraku ramen. No cup ramen was allowed after the training began. Under Nano's constant pester, he started to cook on his own. He bought the ingredients himself using the transformation technique. It was on a trial and error basis, but with the help of Nano, he soon got down the cooking part fast. Nano used augmented reality to mark ingredients, and showed how to cook his own food. Of course, Nano copied most of the cooking process from the street vendors, but Nano was able to grasp the essence of cooking soon. Another big shock to Naruto was Nano's emotion reader/tracker. It could read the emotions just by analyzing the facial muscle movements of the target. That was how he found that almost all teachers and instructors in the academy hate him, except for Iruka. The man showed a mixture of emotions like hate, guilt, sadness whenever looking at him. Some ninja too showed a little bit of sadness and guilt in their face and eyes. He asked Nano to note down those people to research on them later. Even most academy students showed hostility towards him for no reason, just because their parents said so. Clan heirs were left out. They never actively hated or disliked him. The emotional reader showed that they were just annoyed because of him. And there is one girl, Hinata Hyuga, an exception to that, who was very shy in his presence. Usually, she is shy with everyone. She had difficulty speaking to him in particular, and Nano had an answer for that. You had saved the girl from possible bullies one time before the start of the academy. From your memories and the present emotion she exhibits, I can conclude that she admires you. She also follows you outside of the academy most of the time. Since she is not considered as a threat, I did not notify you. Naruto didn't know how to handle the situation. He had pestered Sakura so many times, only because she once told she liked him. That was a long time ago, and he had been told off every time by Sakura after that. Now there is a girl who likes him but is too shy to speak with him. He didn't know how to handle the situation, so he asked Nano for help. We shouldn't contact her and continue what we are doing. The girl is also an heiress to the Hyuga clan, a clan that has superior standing in the village. We do not need further attraction. So Naruto decided to disregard the matter concerning the Hyuga girl until he considers the time is right. Emotion Reader also helped him in identifying one of the hidden major threats, Mizuki, who Naruto believed till now is the best teacher in the academy. Every teacher took an active role in sabotaging his homeworks, test papers, and Taijutsu style. Particularly Mizuki, who taught a Taijutsu style that he told specially tailored for Naruto. But later Nano found that the particular style he had been taught had a lot of unwanted movements and useless katas. but he still learned it from Mizuki to keep up the appearances as per Nano's request. Nano didn't stop after creating enhanced hearing and smell. It also experimented and enhanced Naruto's eyes to see in long range and was able to see chakra, not up to the standards of Sharingan or Byakugan, but it was still better than before. And by spying the village by sitting on the edge of the Hokage mountain, Nano had recorded many ninjas practicing in the training grounds. As a result, it theorized many techniques, mostly Taijutsu and some ninjutsu, and successfully replicated some too, like stages of learning chakra control, tree walking and water walking, replacement technique, clone technique, plus some flashy essential techniques as well. Fire making. It also updated the 3D map of the Konoha village. Now most places that were blank were filled with the help of new chakra eyes. Along with its location training reaching a new range, he can view up to nearly 1 kilometer of radius in his GPS map. Konoha is a big village of radius 10 kilometers, a very big village. After 6 months of effort, Naruto finally started sensing the chakra of other people in close range, like within 20 meters range. He was able to sense them and the amount of chakra they have. He couldn't sense much from any experienced ninjas or his Ambu minders. The technique was not as accurate as mentioned in the books, but with enough practice, he is sure he will get there. As this was the ideal method to become a sensor, he wanted to get this technique done quickly. He also wanted to find the amount of chakra he has compared to others. While his physical activities were being monitored, which slowed down any progress in Taijutsu, Nano trained his mentality and taught him many things. As Naruto learned more and more from Nano, he began to express his opinions and do some planning about his training, fixing the problems on his own, giving orders to Nano. He started to mature faster. Not mature as adults or like the prodigies, but he is somewhat mature for his age. Sometimes he chose to oppose Nano's opinions and find his own solutions too. At least he stopped relying on Nano to have conversations. Naruto had fought many opponents in augmented reality. The opponents' fighting style and power were recorded by Nano during various times. He could best opponents up to Genin level, even though he still didn't have a proper Taijutsu style and his Taijutsu weren't his focus last year. Plus Nano had found something about his regenerative ability, which was 10 times faster than any other students it had observed. Nano had come to a conclusion that it has something to do with his DNA, most probably a bloodline like Hyuga clan's Byakugan, all-seeing, Nara clan's shadow manipulation. But when Naruto had scoured the library for different bloodlines with regenerative powers, there were none. So Nano had come up with an idea to check for his parentage. He is a high-profile target who is being watched by Hokage's bodyguards all the time. In addition to Ambu, Nano was able to find there was another ninja following them, who is well versed in stealth tactics. So all the secrecy made Nano 100% sure that his parentage was well documented but made confidential. A new plan was made to sneak into the archives. July 2nd, year 72, Academy 3rd year. Sasuke entered the classroom, walked towards his usual seat, and sat down looking out of the window. Sasuke's days were going as slowly as possible. Waking up, having breakfast, going to the academy, listening to the useless classes, going to Uchiha training ground, training until his hands and legs go numb, dinner, and sleep. There was no major change in the schedule for nearly 6 months. He followed the same routine day after day, week after week, month after month. He could feel himself growing in power, but there is no one to test his strength. His classmates are weak, HN a lot weaker than him. Even if they gang up, he would win in the end. He had asked for early graduation like his broth like Itachi, but the idea was rejected by the headmaster of the academy. He wanted to grow stronger and faster, so that he can kill Itachi as soon as possible. But that is not possible now. When he asked for a reason for his rejection of early graduation, he was told that the early graduation program has been banned after the Uchiha incident. Now he was stuck with immature nobodies shouting at him, and following him everywhere he goes. Then there was this one bastard, Naruto Uzumaki, who never takes no for an answer, asking to be beaten up daily. He had observed the boy, nobody likes him, a loud mouth and a chronic prankster. Well, his reason for disliking that blonde boy is rational, as the boy was a nuisance. But for the whole classroom, except for a certain few, is unnatural. Even the academy teachers dislike the blonde for some reason. Well, it's not like I give a shit about him. I have only one goal: grow stronger and kill my ... That man Sasuke's desire for revenge has been growing little by little daily, pestering him and poisoning his mind with hate. Every day before going to sleep, he swears to himself that he would kill Itachi and restore the Uchiha clan to the top. He came out of his musings to look around the class, and noticed the class was quieter than usual. The next second he saw 2 girls barreling into the classroom shouting at each other. Of course, It would be quiet. These two banshees are the main reason for the noise, he thought to himself, and turned to look outside as usual. After the event, everyone started to give Sasuke pity and sympathy, and the girls it to a new level by proclaiming to be Madame Uchiha, which only brought irritation to Sasuke. Naruto was lying on the table and reading a book on chakra control that was displayed in front of his eyes. He could memorize it easily by asking Nano to dump the information directly into his brain, but he liked it this way, reading line by line, page by page, and coming up with wild theories and testing it out. From the corner of his eye, he could see the map showing Sakura and Ino coming toward the classroom. Nano could do that. Analyzing their size, height, and walking pattern, Nano could display the names of the dots that are on the map. His echolocation reached this point for him to do this. He thought about the training Nano had him undergo for the past 6 months. He learned more than he was taught in the last 2 academic years. In the beginning, he had some doubts about following Nano's schedule. Everything in the schedule was something he didn't want to do. Like everything except for the things that had to do with chakra and the stealth training. Stealth is the only thing he liked out of all those things. Without emitting chakra, with all his Tenketsu points closed, he is like a normal civilian. Except for the advanced sensors, nobody could pinpoint his location. Nano had him follow an academy teacher until he reached his house. The Ambu noticed it, but they chalked it up as one of his pranking shenanigans. Of course, he pranked the sensei again and again, until one day Hokage had to put a stop to it. That particular sensei was not outstanding or excellent at teaching. He was just one of the many who punished Naruto a lot, even for reasons as simple as talking in class. During his pranking, he evaded the Ambu guards and the other hidden ninja whenever he can. That was the training Nano had set up, evading his guards and staying hidden while following the academy sensei as much as he can. Nano also recorded the guards' patterns and integrated those techniques into Naruto's mind. He became good at it faster than he thought. Nano summarized that stealth may be one of his specialties, just like fast regeneration and larger chakra capacity. Nano formulate a mission for me to sneak into the archives room with the data we have accumulated. Established task. Breaking into archives target. Academy. Hospital. Hokage Tower. The plan will be formulated in 1 hour. Nano always formulates a plan, a backup plan, and a backup plan for the backup. Naruto had planned to break into the academy and mission report archives room. If possible, into the hospital too. If it was a place where he could find his parents' name, then searching the village archives is the best starting place. He had mapped out the archives room in the academy, and he had Nano figured out the individuals patrolling the academy using enhanced hearing and smelling. He had noticed that sometimes there are only 2 guards guarding the room. He just has to wait for that opportune moment to sneak in. He will be able to sneak in even if there is a usual amount of guards present. But he wanted the mission to be 100% successful, and sneaking past 2 ninjas is better than 5 ninjas any day. Shikamaru and Choji entered their range and were walking toward the classroom. In normal mode, the map function was limited to 200 meters around him, which is a large range. Shikamaru looked at Naruto, who was sleeping in his seat. He was getting worried for Naruto. No one was able to observe the changes in Naruto, but he was able to notice it. Lately, Naruto was becoming less enthusiastic than usual. Of course, he was loud, pranking people, and disobeying the instructors, but if one observed closely, one can see that the enthusiasm in his voice is waning slowly. Like he stopped pestering Sakura for a date, coming to the academy early, not demanding Sasuke to fight him regularly. He even changed his way of dressing. He used to wear a white t-shirt with black shorts or a black t-shirt with white shorts, but now he started wearing an orange half-handed t-shirt with black pants. Now that was the biggest change. But still, people didn't care for what Naruto did or didn't do. Shikamaru thought deeply. In addition to that, Naruto has been playing shogi matches with him. His improvement can be said phenomenal. His father may have asked him to watch Sasuke, but he knew Sasuke is already a damaged piece. One cannot control a damaged piece in the board properly. Then he thought about Naruto. His father never told anything related to Naruto to him, other than the fact to not associate with Naruto. It can be interpreted in many ways. If his father wanted him to stay away from Naruto, he would have said so directly. Plus, he would bet his life on Naruto any day, rather than on Sasuke. You come early here just to sleep. Naruto opened one eye and saw Shikamaru. If I come late to class, I would be getting a scolding or some kind of punishment. It is better to come here early and sleep in the classroom. You know, Choji sat on the other side of Shikamaru and extended the chips bag to Naruto. All 3 had formed a chummy sort of relationship, hanging out together most of the time doing nothing. Well, Shikamaru and Naruto doing nothing or playing shogi while Choji munching on something. Naruto never relied on Nano during the shogi matches. but he had asked Nano to update his mistakes on shogi after every match. Naruto took a handful of chips from Choji's extended hand and started eating. After Naruto started to cook, he would bring an extra portion to the academy to share with Choji and Shikamaru. Well, with Shino too, sometimes. Shino Aburam, heir to the Aburam clan. He is also somewhat of an outcast like Naruto. Naruto can sympathize with him. He was also an outcast just like Shino. The Aburam kid mostly joins Naruto in case he wants to socialize. Well, to Shino, Naruto was a puzzle. His Kakachu acts abnormally whenever he was with Naruto. He wanted to know why, plus Naruto was fun to be with. Loud and overly cheerful. That was why he joins Naruto now and then. Want to come to my house today, Naruto? Shikamaru asked Naruto, interrupting his reading on chakra control. Some of the spices in the chips he was eating went down the wrong pipe, and Naruto started coughing, removing foreign particles from the air passageway. Are you asking me? Naruto couldn't believe that. No one asked him to come to their house. Well, the only people who spoke with him were Choji and Shikamaru, but he never had that kind of expectation from them. As every adult or parent he comes across has hated his existence, and they made sure their sons and daughters followed their example. I said your name right. Yes, I am asking you whether you want to come to my house, Shikamaru said again slowly. I don't know. Shikamaru, your father or mother may not like me. It is better for me to not go to your house. Why would my father not liking you has anything to do with you coming to my house? The chances of Shikamaru's father knowing about Kyuubi is 100%. Shikaku Nara, commander of Jonin forces, Hidden Leaf Village, the clan head of the Nara clan. And if Shikamaru is any indication, his father must also be smart and knowledgeable. We also don't know his character. We should stay away from shinobi influence until we are strong, Nano gave its piece of advice. Oh yes, Naruto knew about the presence of Kyuubi soon after his enhanced ear experiment. He had asked Nano why the villagers hated him, and Nano put together the information it collected through super hearing and showed it to Naruto. In addition to that, Nano found a large amount of mutated chakra being released into his body in chakra pool at a certain interval. He knows he isn't Kyuubi, but Kyuubi is with him in some way. He just didn't know how. The whole week after the revelation was a big blow to Naruto. He was so devastated and didn't leave his room for that whole week. He also came to understand somewhat the reasons for Anbu telling him. Hokage visiting him despite his hectic schedule, civilians, and a better part of the shinobi population hating him. They hate Kyuubi, but they can't directly inflict pain on Kyuubi. So they hated the next best thing close to Kyuubi, him. His ambition to become Hokage diminished, but it was still there, in the darkness, like the size of candlelight. Becoming Hokage lighted his path, but not completely. Day by day his enthusiasm lessened and shadows were creeping up on the light. His care for the village and the villagers dropped from then on. Maybe he cared for a total of 2 or 3 people in the village. That is all. Chuchi and Am are the 2 people he cared for. Maybe Shikamaru is also one of those people he cared for. That was why he didn't want to break that relationship, because if by chance Shikamaru's father hated him, their friendship would be over. He still hoped for Shikamaru's father to be not one of those people that hate him. Nano had rejected the idea of him going to Shikamaru's house, but Naruto still held some hope. Well, he is still a kid. What can one expect from him to be like a 1,000-year-old master manipulator? Shikamaru, you do know that people don't like me that much, do you? If I come to your house, then your father may ask you to stop spending your time with me, Naruto spoke hesitantly, not entirely giving up on Shikamaru's offer or speaking against it. I have asked my father's permission to bring my friends home. He won't say anything. You are my friend, not his friend, if you say so for the rest of the day. Naruto and Nano were coming up with different scenarios, and several plans to reverse the situation if it went out of control. The day went on as usual, with Naruto and Shikamaru sleeping in the class, and Naruto getting his ass kicked into jutsu. Shikamaru, Choji, and Naruto walked toward the Nara compound. These guys are with me. As they passed the gates, Shikamaru spoke to no one. Okay. Shikamaru heard a reply from the side of the gates. Naruto knew someone was sitting in the bush. He could also see 2 more members on the map, one sitting on the tree and the other sitting inside the guard room. They were well hidden, but he could see it in the maps. As the 3 were well away from the gates, one of the 3 ninjas spoke. Isn't that the Jinchuriki? What is the clan head planning? Is he trying to rope in the boy? When no response came, he continued. Forming any connection with the boy at present will do us no good, said the Nara guard. I don't think it has anything to do with the patriarch. Shikamaru must have brought him here, said another Nara guard. Sigh. You guys not need to worry about it. If there is some trouble, then Shikaku will take care of it. Now stop discussing useless matters and go back to sleep. Cough. Work, ordered the last Nara, who is the leader of the trio. Naruto too heard the conversation. It was the first time he heard the word Jinchuriki. All the others referred to him as a demon, monster, that boy, etc. Search our database for the word Jinchuriki. If it is not found, then set a new task to research on the topic. As he learned more and more, he became well versed in using Nano and its terminologies. New task established task. Search Jinchuriki finding any information related to the word. Nara Yoshino was sweeping the fallen leaves in front of their house. She retired from the field and started working in the cryptography department under Konohagaka Intelligence Department. Generally, her department doesn't have any kind of work unless it is during wartime. At present they have posted her department members to oversee the Konoha Shinobi Library. Any of their department work gets sent to the library. Their work in the library is to clean it, arrange the books as per the order, and register books taken outside by the ninja. The work is done by her subordinates, so she usually spends her time in her house. Today was one of those days when she would nag her son and her husband to train in ninja arts. Gods, how she hoped for peaceful years. But she knew the war is just over the horizon. The elemental nations faced a shinobi war every 15 years. That lasted for 4 to 5 years. Only the last war ended in 3 years. And it has been already 10 years since the last war. War is bound to start in the next 5 years. She just hoped that her family will come out of it unscathed. Her thoughts were interrupted when she heard her son speaking with Choji and Naruto. Great, he is another political bomb waiting to go out. Nara Yoshino knows who you are. Nano observing her through Naruto's eyes spoke. Arashika is bringing his friends home today. Thank goodness, I thought you didn't have any other friends other than Choji. Troublesome. Good evening, Aunt Yoshino. Choji replied casually and continued to walk towards the house. He had been here enough times to speak familiarly with Yoshino. It was Naruto that was nervous. Even if he had matured in the recent days, he was still a child. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Nara-sama. Naruto just dictated the words that Nano displayed. He expected a cold face or silence in return. There is no need for honorifics. You can call me Aunt Yoshino just like Choji does. Naruto. Come. Naruto heaved an internal sigh. Looks like she is not one of those people. There is still an unknown Nara Shikaku present. According to the chat between the gate guards, there is something bound to happen with the clan head. Moreover, the general mood of this clan towards you is rather passable. That is neither hate nor goodwill towards you. Yes, Aunt Yoshino. Naruto didn't know how to interact with the adults. Shuchi and Am were more like his friends than adults. Even while speaking with Hokage, he informally called him Jiji. Good. Yoshino replied. We will be in the backyard practicing, Mom. So don't disturb us, Shikamaru said to his mother, hoping she wouldn't come with them. Usually, she would oversee his training. But whenever Choji comes by, she leaves them alone, and Shikamaru gets to slack off. Okay, but be sure to do chakra control exercise for at least half an hour. I will be checking on you later. Yoshino reminded her son once again. Yes. Troublesome. Shikamaru, Choji, and Naruto soon arrived in the backyard. The backyard was connected to a large garden. Okay. It should be called a small forest. Every Nara family's backyard is connected to the forest. Even apartments inside the Nara compound are connected to the forest in some way. They tend to the deer in the forest, and cultivate and collect medicinal herbs too. They, with the help of Akimichi, produce medicinal pills to distribute in the Leaf Village, which earns them a certain amount of money to run the clan. It can be said they are the second richest clan, with Akimichi being the richest in the whole Konohagaka. It is due to the Nara clan. The trio clans, Akimichi, Nara, Yamanaka, hold some irrefutable power in the village. This power was slowly built from the beginning when the village was built. With the Uchiha clan eradicated, the Hyuga clan's dispossession clouded with their pride, Senju almost extinct, and the birth of the Ino-Shikacho alliance in the previous generation slowly cemented their power in Konoha. Shikamaru sat down and took out his shogi board. Come on, let us play a game. Naruto asked Shikamaru. Didn't you say you would be training? Even your mother specifically asked you to do a chakra control exercise, Naruto asked Shikamaru. He didn't want to start a fight between Shikamaru and his mother. Don't worry, my mother will not come here, and I will do the training after a match, Shikamaru assured Naruto. They had already played several matches, and it started getting dark. Nara Shikaku has entered the Nara clan compound. Naruto looked at the map to see a dot, Shikaku Nara, moving towards Shikamaru's house. Since Nano had data on Shikamaru's father, it was able to identify him easily. If he goes now, he may be able to take a roundabout route and avoid encountering Shikaku. Naruto decided not to meet with Shikamaru's father today. He looked down to see the shogi board. They were still in the middle of the game. Shikamaru, it is getting late. Let's finish now. Ichiraki will close by 09.00. Oh, okay. Come on, I will take you to the clan gates. No problem. I still remember the way. I will be fine on my own. You know. Well then, let me just inform my mother. Shikamaru turned and shouted towards the house. Mom, Naruto is leaving. I will leave him at the gates. What? I made dinner for him too. Let him have dinner and leave, Yoshino shouted from the kitchen. Naruto had never eaten in anybody's house. It is his first time being in someone's house too. He wanted to say yes and stay, but it's no use. Shikaki could already see the front of his house from the street. Even if we leave now, we would be seen. Be ready for anything to happen. You heard her. Shikamaru moved a piece on the board. You should do as Auntie asked Naruto. She can be very strict sometimes. Don't worry, even if it becomes too late, Uncle will send a ninja to escort you to your house. He usually does for me. Choji added his piece of advice from the side. Your move. Shikamaru pointed at the shogi board. Naruto prayed to the gods and continued to play the game. He could not concentrate properly, made mistakes, and soon lost the match. Shikamaru watched it with raised eyebrows. Naruto started making mistakes at the last minute and lost. He thought Naruto was getting bored of the game. Let's go inside. I will show you my room. When Naruto, Shikamaru, and Choji entered Shikamaru's room, Shikaku also entered his house. Nano, I want to hear what they are speaking. Yes, sir. July 3rd, year 72. Shikaku. Late evening, Hokage building. Sitting at the desk, he reviewed the mission status, income status, overall mission turnout, and reports regarding skirmishes between Iowa and Suna. Suna has been getting bolder and bolder in attacking the convoys Leaf Shinobi is guarding. In the last 3 months alone, 3 attacks had happened. At least 1 attack per month. In previous occasions, if any attack happened, then it was the result of a misunderstanding. But nowadays it was premeditated attacks. Iowa 2 testing was the borders. 1 patrol team was completely killed near the Land of Earth borders. And he was sure that it was Iowa Shinobi. Most probably, their daimyo had permitted them to collect new territories from other countries. Or else that fence sitter was acting on his own and waiting for Konoha to start an attack so they could retaliate. Troublesome. It has been like this since the news about the Uchiha massacre spread. First 3 months after the massacre was absolute peace. But soon both Iowa and Suna were getting ready for another war. They had been amassing supplies, food, weapons, etc. Hidden Cloud Village has been doing it even before the Hyuga incident. Why they didn't start a war soon after the Hyuga incident, he didn't know. Must be some internal conflict. That was his assumption. But there may have been some other reasons he couldn't have known to. Leaf could of course pacify Suna by sending them the missions that originally come from the Land of Wind. But Hokage has objected to the idea. More like his advisors objected to the idea, and the Hokage followed their lead. Plus there were some rumors that Daimyo of Wind is going to pass all the missions to Konoha. If that happens, then there would be another all-out war. 4th Shinobi War. If it was up to him, he would send the excess missions to Suna and start amassing supplies for the war. But he is not the Hokage and can't give that order. The war was inevitable. It is just a matter of time before someone blunders. And every village will be up with swords and kunai. In all 3 Shinobi Wars, Konoha came out with the victory. But they too suffered losses, just not as huge as other villages. It was only in the 3rd Shinobi War they suffered minimal losses, due to Minato Namikaze. But the Kyuubi incident and the Uchiha massacre nullified all the gains of the 3rd Shinobi War. More like they suffered huge losses now than the losses from a Shinobi War. As for the Kyuubi incident, they couldn't pinpoint the origin or cause of the trouble. Only the 3rd Hokage heard Minato's last words, and the 3rd Hokage refused to detail that matter other than the news regarding Jinchuriki, which he guessed is completely another foolish action. The 1st and 2nd Jinchuriki survived without any exposure, but he just had to expose the 3rd Jinchuriki right after a disaster caused by Kyuubi. He could guess the ulterior motives behind the 3rd Hokage's actions, but couldn't he do it through some other method, like what he did with Kushina, and then the Uchiha massacre, which happened inside the village. The massacre must have taken place for nearly 3 hours, 6 p.m.-7 p.m., and miraculously, there was no Konoha patrol shinobi present in that area for 3 hours. An entire clan was wiped out, and they only found out after everything was over. Fucking bullshit. He had been to the observation center where the Anbu spied on the Uchiha clan 24/7. He had been there several times. He knew how they worked. The observation was not stopped even when the Hyuga incident happened, not even when Orochimaru had defected. But the observation team was disbanded just a week before the massacre to give them a time off. How convenient. No Anbu, no patrol team, and every Uchiha just happened to be in their clan compound or else in the police headquarters, conveniently for Itachi to kill them all. 3rd Hokage's answers and responses completely stumped him and Inoichi. Itachi killed the entire Uchiha clan out of the madness. Add Itachi's details to the bingo books. It was Inoichi who conducted Itachi's psychological profiling of the Hokage candidate. The results said Itachi is a pacifist, mature and naive ninja, who can be molded into a perfect Hokage material, just like Minato. And his killing an entire clan of people out of madness didn't fit his profile. He could make some theories and conclusions regarding Itachi killing his clan, and every conclusion was more worrying than the other. If Itachi was not crazy before the massacre, He sure is now, what a drag. He was soon done with his work, arranged all the papers necessary that are to be reviewed by the Hokage the next day, and left the Hokage building. He was in his world while walking towards his home, and thinking about several scenarios that might happen in the village soon. He can confirm one such thing is the reduction of taxes, and an increase in the intake of missions, mainly property and excise taxes. Tax reduction is to attract people to settle down in their village. More people will help bolster the overall population in the village. An increase in population will lead to an increase in mission rate, at least within the village. Whatever the Hokage is planning to do doesn't equate to the whole clan, the Uchiha clan. He had already assigned a couple of dozen teams to replace the gap made by the absence of the Uchiha police force. But still, the security inside the village was reduced. The overall shinobi available for missions have also been reduced. Despite this situation, the Hokage wanted to increase the number of missions they take. Using this situation, Shikaku wanted to take control of some or the overall Anbu body. Just as he passed the clan compound gates, a shadow stretched from the tree nearby and attached to his. He heard a voice in his head. He just walked towards his house as though he hadn't heard the voice. No irregularity noticed in the clan estate. Shikamaru brought Kaimubi Jinchuriki to your house. Jinchuriki's guards are asked to stay outside the compound at present. Good work. Continue, make sure to patrol around my house once again. Thoroughly, yes, sir. This was a method he created with the help of Inoichi. As soon as he noticed Konoha was spying on its villagers, he wanted a better way of communication that cannot be observed by the other ninjas. He always can't be using Fuinjutsu, as it was costly and left a purchase evidence trail. And he can't be using seals everywhere he goes. That would raise a lot of suspicions about him. It took some time, but Shikaku and Inoichi succeeded in creating a new jutsu. Lash Shadow Talk Jutsu Nara. Shadow users can communicate with other Nara through shadows slash, and this jutsu was only taught to a select few ninjas, who were loyal only to Shikaku. With all Naras being somewhat more intelligent than normal shinobi, nobody believed in the shit called Will of Fire. So no Nara can be called a Konoha fanatic. Their motto was keep the clan safe. In return, the clan will make sure your family is safe. Because of that, any secret within the clan never went out, and Shikaku also made sure of that. Well, he is not planning any coup d'etat like the Uchihas. He was afraid of some wild factors inside the village that would inflict damage on the clan. As for his son bringing Jinchuriki Naruto into Nara's compound, Shikaku didn't know what to think of it. His son did ask about Naruto once before, but that happened long ago, and his answer should have been enough for Shikamaru to know what his stand was. He was sure his son would have forgotten about that, or he has his plans. He was also coming up with different scenarios. In no way, the Hokage can order the Naras to stay away from Naruto now, because in the current situation, the Naras are important to the village. If we are inflicted, by proxy both Yamanaka and Akimishi will also involve themselves. The situation will turn nasty soon if that happened are troublesome. And here I thought Shikamaru would be lazy like me. Or maybe he just wants his father to do more work. What a drag. I will have to make sure to punish the little shit with extra training. Shikaku entered the living room and saw Yoshino there with a book in her hands. I am back, welcome home, Yoshino replied. He walked into his study room with Yoshino following him. After she entered the room, he activated a noise cancellation seal. Even if his living room is bugged or if the ninja is using sound transmission jutsu to hear what they are talking about, the observers won't be able to find out. Having these kinds of low-level Fuinjutsu seals is costly but easy. Shikaku refrained from using them daily, since it would leave a trail of his bulk purchase. He also provided these seals to every shinobi family in his clan. Where are they? In our Shikamaru's room. They were playing shogi till now choji. Shikaku asked with surprise. He never once considered that Naruto would be playing shogi with his son, as he knew the third Hokage would have made sure to keep the Jinchuriki dumb. He considered it must have been Choji who played with Shikamaru. And Choji playing a board game against his son of all people surprised him. Maybe Choji is starting to use his brain no with Naruto. And the boy seems to know how to play against a Nara too. She had observed the game from the beginning. Naruto played as erratic as possible, which made it harder for her son to keep track of all of the opponent's moves. Now, that was a huge shock than Shikaku had expected. There are several speculations about that. It means his son has been hanging out with Naruto longer than he expected. Naruto is more clever and sharp than the Hokage would have wanted, as the third Hokage still hasn't asked about Naruto's friendship with my son means. The Hokage still doesn't know anything about it. How good is he against Shika? Also, playing shogi well doesn't mean Naruto is talented in other aspects. He needed more information too. Naruto never won, but he is doing very well as an academy student. Unpredictable moves to keep Shika on the toe, but still not enough to defeat Shika. Nowhere near close. I have to observe daily to know whether he is improving or not. Yoshino had only observed them for one evening, so she couldn't rate his skill. There was a long pause as both of them were thinking on their own. What do you plan to do with Naruto? Yoshino broke the silence. Nothing. What do you have me do? Ask Shikamaru to not contact Naruto. He is already 8, dear. At this age, Minato, Kakashi, Itachi, and many other children became shinobi and killed at least dozens of people. He is not powerful, but he has a mature mind and he can make his own decisions just like all those geniuses. Plus, it is also time for Naruto to have some friends, if the Hokage. Shikaku interrupted her. Can ask me of nothing. His influence is waning. No single clan has authority over us now. Hyuga with their unwanted pride will befall soon, and they are not as powerful as they were once. No Senju, no Uchiha, or any other clan with overwhelming power. Even if we can't make changes in the village, nobody can make us do anything for them. They may try underhanded methods. Only Danzo's private army will cause that kind of trouble. But that was a risk we were prepared for a long time. Of course, with the Ino-Shikacho alliance, they come up at the top. The Akimichi can topple the economy of Konoha, Yamanaka has secrets of every Anbu and high-profile ninja of Konoha, and Nara supplies half the village with their medicine pellets and ointments. Even attacking one clan will result in all three involving themselves. Their ancestors formed this alliance even before joining Konoha. If not for the powerhouses like Hashirama and Madara wiping out all the other clans in Fire Country that did not want to join Konoha, their ancestors wouldn't have joined this village. There were nearly 40 clans in the vicinity of Fire Country before the formation of Konoha during the Warring States period. Out of 40 clans, 20 to 25 were clans with Kekkei Genkai. There were several noble clans too, who were once part of the Daimyo Council, but now there are only 4 noble ninja clans are present: Aburame, Akimichi, Hyuga, and Uchiha. Out of 4, 1 is almost extinct. Out of 40 clans, only 30 joined Konoha. The rest were exterminated, including the 4 noble clans. As of now, there are only 21 known clans present in the Hidden Leaf village. Now, after nearly 50 plus years, Nara, Yamanaka, Akimichi, the 3 clans became an integral part of the Hidden Leaf village. So that was why Shikaku was sure that the Hokage can't order the Naras to do anything. The Nara may amount to nothing solely, but Akimichi alone, being the richest clan in Konoha, can topple Konoha's economic system. Add in the Yamanaka, who manage the better part of the Konoha's intelligence division. Openly or covertly attacking even one of them would be foolish. So the alliance is strong. Now let us go meet the kid soon. I haven't seen Minato's kid in a long time. Even my spending time with Shikamaru is becoming less and less. All the damn paperwork in the office cut short my free time. Soon they both finished talking about other topics related to the clan. When Shikaku shifted to take down the seal, Yoshino spoke suddenly. I don't know if it is just my mind or me being overly suspicious, but just minutes before you came here, Naruto wanted to leave all of a sudden, wanting to go to Ichiraku Ramen's stand. He was halfway into the shogi match, and suddenly started losing badly. Shikaku knew Naruto's love for Ramen, so he didn't take what his wife just said particularly into his mind. As they left the room, Yoshino called for the children to have dinner. Naruto carefully watched Shikaku entering the house in a 3D layout. Just picture how Daredevil Matt Murdock sees the world through radar sense. The 3D view, just imagine how a hologram works. Naruto was sitting in Shikamaru's room, which contained lots and lots of books, scrolls, and papers scattered around the room. He was looking through a philosophy book that was on the shelf. Well, more like flipping through the pages while Nano recorded the contents and him watching Shikamaru's dad in the display. That was when it happened. The room that Shikamaru's dad and his mom entered turned completely dark. All he could see was an opaque box. Black screen. A giant cube of black shadow was there, where just a second before Shikaku and his wife were present. Naruto rotated the hologram to different sides to look from different perspectives, but the room remained dark despite whatever he did. Nano, what happened? That room completely went dark. Analyzing the situation, it took some time for Nano to compile a few theories and form an answer. It appears Shikaku used a jutsu that nullifies all the sounds from entering the room and leaving the room. It is either that or something technology related to how some rooms in Hokage Tower are. When Naruto was scouting the whole of Konoha using echolocation, there were some places he couldn't form a 3D view or find anything inside the room. It was like a giant thick wall with nothing but concrete or metal filled inside the room. Since they couldn't find anything through the echolocation technique, they concluded there must be some technology that can restrict sound from entering and leaving. That was why Nano had urged Naruto to train in becoming a sensor sooner. With nothing to know about what they were discussing, Naruto returned to focusing fully and devouring as many as books he could. Shikamaru watched Naruto turning the pages rapidly and choosing the next book to do the same. Troublesome, what are you doing, Naruto? I am just searching for any eye-catching words in these books. Don't mind me. If you are searching for jutsu, you would find nothing here. There are no jutsu techniques in these scrolls or the books present here. There are some books regarding chakra and chakra control over there if you need. Okay, Naruto replied, but continued doing what he was doing before. Shikamaru soon got bored of watching Naruto and started doing his work sleeping, while Choji was doing his homework. It has been half an hour since Nano could not sense Shikaku and Yoshino in its echolocation range. By that time Naruto had already gone through nearly 10 books, and started doing his homework too. Halfway through his assignment, he saw 2 dots suddenly appearing on the map again, and the 3D display bounced back into his view. It appears their meeting is over. But ... why use that kind of technique inside your own house? Naruto questioned Nano. Shikaku must have discussed something regarding the village with his wife. Most probably their discussion must be about you. With Nara Shikaku being in a high position in the Leaf Village, there is a high possibility that he might be being spied upon. Just like you, you are also a high-value target guarded by Ambu. Whatever they are discussing, they didn't want to be overheard by your guards, spies, or any other listeners. Didn't you say the Ambu stopped at the compound entrance? There are many other ways to spy on a private conversation. Just like us, the Inuyasha clan also has an enhanced hearing and smelling capability. Shikaku might be considering every possibility of others overhearing their conversation. Naruto's conversation with Nano was interrupted by Shikamaru's mother. Shikamaru, come have dinner. Bring Choji and Naruto to Shikaku and Yoshino were already sitting at the dining table when all 3 children arrived in the dining hall. The dining table was not like the one Naruto had in his home. It was a traditional style table. Short-legged, height ranged between 20–25 centimeters. Naruto, this is my father. Dad, this is Naruto. Shikamaru introduced both of them. Naruto talked with his jolly self. Hello, Shikamaru's father. Good evening. Naruto had seen Shikaku before. Shikaku used to pick up Shikamaru and Choji from the academy during their first year. The elder Nara's scars looked very intimidating, so he never tried to talk to Shikamaru's father during those times. Shikaku observed Naruto for a second and spoke. You can call me Shikaku or Uncle Shikaku. Whatever suits you, then I will call you Uncle Shikaku. The dinner was a peaceful affair, except for the father and son duo talking about the academy and Shikamaru mostly answering. Naruto also answered some. Well, it was Nano's scripted replies. But ... this tastes so good, auntie. I never tasted food like this before. The food tasted pretty good for Naruto, while he could cook food tastier than this. But this was the first time he tried any food that was not Ichiraku ramen or academy canteen food. Look at you both, you never appreciated my cooking, and you both have been eating it daily for years. Yoshino half turning towards the father and son duo and asked. Naruto's food also tasted good, auntie. He brings his lunch nowadays. Choji added his piece of information. You can cook. That is very impressive, Naruto. Maybe I should also teach Shikamaru some cooking. That should help in breaking out his lazy nature. Yoshino was astonished and asked Naruto. I live alone, so I have to cook my food. I learned it pretty easily too. Naruto blushed. He was experiencing the concept of being appreciated for the first time by anyone other than his Jiji. Meanwhile, Shikamaru, what a drag. Maybe I shouldn't have brought Naruto here. Now I have to cook too. Maybe I can stop going to the academy and start to learn cooking. Soon after the dinner, both Choji and Naruto wanted to return to their home. Shikaku arranged for a Nara clan member to escort both of them to their home. It is no problem for me, Uncle Shikaku. I can go back on my own. The market district will still be crowded at this point. Naruto lived in the market district, not in the wealthy part of the district. The market district is between the shinobi clans and the civilians. The civilians were present at the edge of the village near the border walls, where the village entry gate is present. Uchiha clan was the only clan present near the entry borders, while the Nara compound was present on one end, clan district on the sides of the village. Beyond them are only the Inuyasha clan and some training grounds. You can come here to train anytime you want, Naruto-kun. The training ground is always empty here. Maybe my son will learn something with you coming here daily, Yoshino said while Naruto was leaving the house. She also planned to start training for Shikamaru soon. Naruto nodded his head and left with Choji in the Nara clan headroom with Shikamaru and Shikaku. What was the real reason you brought him here? Shikaku asked while moving a piece on the shogi board. I can't bring a friend to my house. You can. But last year, I clearly said that Naruto is off limits, which it appears you did not understand. Shikamaru thought for a few seconds and made his move on the board. He appeared dull for the last few weeks, not overly enthusiastic. Cherry is not being his usual self, so I wanted to him a boost. Shikamaru continued while there was no reply. Will there be problems from your higher-ups still? Shikaku did not reply. Look, Dad, Naruto may be boisterous, unorthodox, and unruly, but he is very observant. Those pranks, do you think he does it for his amusement? He particularly targeted them because they wronged him sometime before. He notices things that we don't notice it usually, and now he has become sharp as well. My shogi matches with him are becoming harder little by little. He would become an amazing shinobi with little help and effort. All these things aside, he has been downcast for the past 2 to 3 months. If we help him now, he would be grateful to us. Shikamaru was helping Naruto out of his friendship, but his father's lessons were etched into his mind deeper, so he had to make up some plot for his reason for helping Naruto. Shikaku has seen through his son's real motive even before the explanation. His son was still a little bit naive to think he didn't notice it. But how much can one expect from an 8-year-old kid who has never been to a battlefield? Shikamaru is more mature for his age, which is more than enough for Shikaku. You don't need to worry about the consequences of you spending time with your friend. You can also bring him here whenever you want. He spoke and finished the match in the next move, then stood up and left the study room, leaving Shikamaru. Naruto never considered his visit to the Nara compound would result in this fashion. He imagined Shikamaru's father to lash out at him or at least frown at him, but nothing ever happened like that. He came to know that there are more people out there that don't care about him being related to the Kyuubi. It is just he hasn't met them or they haven't made an effort to know him. But he and Nano believe that there is still a conspiracy going on around him other than the Kyuubi issue. 2 months later, August 15, year 72, Naruto's days went back to usual. Usually in the sense, he was doing planning and recon for the Academy archive break-in. He would be seen wandering in the hallways in his free time, or when the teachers dismissed him from their classes, while Nano recorded everything to the last detail. Rooms, buildings, blueprints, sentries posted, their smell, voice, face, rank, patrol details. He had also noticed his second minder's route coming and going from the academy at times. He only noted 2 of those ninjas in those 2 months. Since Nano had recorded their profile while they were tailing him sometimes before, it was able to identify them easily. These people never acted like Anbu, they were much more secretive than Anbu shadowing him. Nano believed that they belonged to another secret core of the Leaf Village. The third Hokage had visited him twice after his first Nara compound visit, but never questioned him about it, so he continued to visit Shikamaru's house on weekends. They also trained for a little bit after his first visit, training in chakra control exercise, shuriken jutsu training, and kunai throwing training. Their batch was not given any shuriken and kunai during this academic year. Kunai and shuriken's training only starts in their 5th academic year, but clan children were given training by their parents at a younger age than civilian kids. Since Naruto had been going to the Nara compound frequently, he was also included in Shikamaru's training, and he learned whatever was taught there, learned it very easily too. Even without Nano's help in predicting the trajectory, he was able to hit the bullseye every time on the 10th day of the training. Because of him, Shikamaru's and Choji's training also became harsh. 2 months of recon. He did his best to note down everything that came and went to the academy. Today was going to be his first test run in breaking into the academy archives. As of tomorrow, it will be the summer holidays for the academic year. Fewer people in the academy, fewer sentries, and no patrol. If his test run was successful, then he was going to continue until his task was achieved. Finding any info that is related to his parents, Naruto arrived at the academy gates at midnight. He could see the ninja moving on the rooftops all around the village. Just 2 or 3 ninjas. Not many could see them. It was only because of his chakra-enhanced eyes, and with Nano's help, he was able to see them. But they would never be able to see him. He almost perfected his art of staying hidden. His stealth was on a whole other level compared to his other abilities. The gates were rarely guarded. The patrol or sentries mostly only watch over the training ground entry gate. He didn't know what their thoughts were. Maybe they thought no one would dare to enter through the main gates. Maybe they may have been lazy. He scaled the wall and entered the administrative building block. He could see 2 sentries in the main hallway through his map. The archives room was in the underground room. He used a window in the teacher's lounge to enter the building, and slowly made his way to the archives room. There were 2 ways to enter the archive room. One directly through the teacher's lounge, and another through the main stairs. Usually, the archives room was never guarded. The ninja guarding the floor always slacked off, as the academy building was at the core of the village just near the Hokage building, so they always slept through their shift. The records room contained papers related to the students present in the academy, and their records were moved to the archives room as soon as they graduate or move out of the academy. Naruto entered the archives room and searched for the documents and papers he came for. He started with batches 30 years old to 20 years. He guessed if his parents were ninjas, then they must have been from between these 10 years. His purpose was to flip through the pages and Nano record the contents. Even if the room was dark, which it was, Naruto was able to see clearly as it was daytime. He returned to his room after 1 hour, as it was only a test run for his break-in. Naruto did this for the rest of the week, going to the academy at midnight, flipping through the papers, and returning home after an hour. It was on the 4th day that Nano notified Naruto of the name, Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto's hands which were flipping the pages went still. Uzumaki is a shared name between the two, but still, he already considered the name was somehow related to him. Maybe his mother. He read further on the page. Uzumaki Kushina, a female clan member of the Uzumaki clan. sent to Konoha to attend Konohagaka Academy in year 50. It was recorded as she was enrolled as a third year, that too in the middle of an academic year. No further details were recorded. No age, no parent's name, no guardian's name. Everything was left blank. Some parts were even shaded. While he went through others' biodata, the information recorded in it was at least 2 paragraphs. But this particular person's biodata consisted of only 2 sentences. Nano, what is the possibility of this Uzumaki Kushina being my mother? Further data is required to make any conclusion. Naruto went towards the rack that consisted of yearly academic reports. He was sure there would be something. We should leave now, Naruto. Any further will exceed our time limit. And there is a high probability of us getting caught. Are you kidding me? We just found something related to me. I need to know more the reason we should leave now. If we are caught now, we will have no chance to know more additional information. We always have time tomorrow. This was what he disliked about Nano. After almost a year with Nano, he came to know that Nano works based on probability and profit. And it was always correct. Well, mostly. For the time during his visit to the Nara compound, Nano gave him the option of declining Shikamaru's offer. But he went through and it was all good in the end. But the rest of the time, whatever option Nano gave worked out in the end. He returned to his home and didn't sleep for the whole night. Despite Nano's urge, he couldn't sleep. He wanted the day to be over fast and for the night to come sooner. He wanted to know more about Uzumaki Kushina. Moreover, what was that about the clan? Bring up Uzumaki Kushina's biodata. Nano brought up the page on the display. There, he saw the Uzumaki clan. From outside of Konoha, out there somewhere there are more Uzumaki people, maybe an aunt, uncle, or maybe even his mother is present there. Maybe the Uzumaki are not as powerful as the clans of Konoha. That was why he never heard of them. Yes, maybe that was the reason. Maybe they too have never heard of him, and so that was why nobody came to take him out of the village. Before Nano had come into his life, he several times prayed to the gods that someone would come and take him out of the village, away from this miserable place. No one ever came. Maybe they never heard of him. It was like the minutes ticked very slowly. Like it took days for the night to arrive. The closer to midnight, the longer the seconds it stretched for Naruto. Even though he was anxious, he was very careful. He was very careful for the whole day without dropping his act. If some mistake happened, then all his efforts will be in vain. So he has to be very careful. That night Naruto returned to the academy. Naruto went straight to the row where year 50 records were kept. There were no academic reports of Uzumaki Kushina. He went through 51st year biodata. Uzumaki Kushina was present, but no academic report. The same for the last academic year too. There were no reports on her academic performance. Naruto checked over any other anomaly like Uzumaki Kushina. Lo and behold, Namikaze Minato's academic reports were also missing from the same batch. A part of his mind already conjured some possibilities of these two being his parents, as both their academic reports were missing. Well, his guess was not wrong. They both were his parents. But the reason for the missing academic reports was not as Naruto believed it. Kushina being Jinchuriki, their records were hidden from the outsiders for the most part. As for Minato's records not being there, as soon as he became a Hokage, they were removed from the archives. Not only Minato's, every member of Anbu will have their reports hidden under more security. His misunderstanding resulted in getting answers. And it was the right answer too. But he didn't know that now. Only later when Nano compiled all the data from the Academy archives and mission archives, it presented the conclusion to Naruto. All his wait for the whole day was useless, as he found no further information other than what he had found already. After finding his parents' names, he wanted to know whether they are alive. Minato being dead was a piece of known information. He wanted to know whether his mother was still alive or not. And he guessed that the information may only be available in the Hokage Tower or some other secure location. At present, he didn't know whether he can break into the Hokage Tower. Plus, he wanted more information regarding the Uzumaki clan. He may have to invest more time in the Academy Library. Nano's next target is Hokage Tower. We can take as much time as we need. Prepare a plan and recon for this mission task. Established mission. Infiltrate mission archives Hokage Tower. After that day, Naruto still went to the Academy archives daily to flip through all their records for Nano, to compile more data regarding the Leaf Village and the ninjas. Even after the Academy holidays were over, he went through every record stored in the Academy. September 21st, year 72, Academy 3rd year. Now, we will begin the new jutsu. For this academic term, you would be learning about the replacement technique Kawarimi no Jutsu. Have everyone read about the theory part? Aruka asked the class. Yes, Sensei. Good. Did everyone memorize the hand signs? Yes, Sensei. Aruka had shown the new jutsu during the first day of their academic year, and further assignments were given to them so that they would familiarize themselves with the jutsu. Good. Now I will perform the hand signs and the technique slowly for you to show how it is done. Then Iruka walked towards the window and placed the dustbin, and he proceeded to walk towards the door. You must always determine the object before doing the technique. If you did the technique without determining the object, then the chakra expelled becomes useless, and that will fail. Kawarimi no Jutsu. Iruka disappeared from where he was standing and appeared near the window, and in his place was the dustbin that he placed near the window. Wow sensei, that was awesome. It was so cool. Well, it was mostly the civilian kids who were impressed by the display. They have never seen many techniques, which made this demonstration impressive. Everyone will demonstrate the hand signs now. Without applying chakra, I will come to you and check them one by one. But sensei, you just showed the technique. How can we do it in the first class? One student asked. That is why I stressed without applying the chakra. You are only doing the hand signs. It is not that difficult. Go on, practice it. I will check one by one, Iruka answered. Naruto for his part was unimpressed. He had shown this technique to Shikamaru and Choji during their training session in the Nara compound. He had done this technique without much effort. He also did extensive research on this technique and found that many techniques could be derived using this as a basis. The drawback of this technique is that it can be used to replace an object only within a range of 15 meters. However much chakra you pour into the technique, the maximum range to replace himself is 15 meters. The technique is based on the particular ninja's chakra molding speed and reaction speed. If one's molding speed, perception, and reactionary speed is high, then one can perform the substitution even in a millisecond. The chakra expelled pushes the ninja at a maximum speed, beyond the perception of a normal human, and substitutes it with the desired object. Also, substituting a living human with an active chakra system is difficult. Like very difficult, almost impossible. But Naruto could do it. But both Shikamaru and Choji couldn't perform the replacement technique on him. The active chakra in the system in the human opposes the jutsu performer's chakra from taking the replacing effect. One must have a ridiculous amount of chakra to achieve that. Plus, Naruto's chakra is very different from others, most probably due to the Kyuubi. Just like his solid transformation technique. And I am trying to justify the technique, so go ahead and skip it if you don't want to read it. In the canon, Sasuke was able to perform replacement more like with teleportation, with the help of Finnegan, so he can use a person with an active chakra system for replacement without much effort. Moreover, his replacement is instant activation and teleportation, while replacement jutsu is based upon distance, chakra molding speed, and chakra network of the target. The replacement technique can be hampered or taken advantage of by an enemy ninja who has a fast reaction speed and high perception. Uchiha with their red eyes can keep track of the movement in slow motion. If they are fast enough and react in time, then they could take advantage of the replacement technique. The jutsu caster's starting posture and resting posture remain the same while performing the jutsu, leaving them at a disadvantage. Nano had been trying to replicate the fast movement that is used during the replacement jutsu without replacing the object. Just the movements alone. It is Shunshin no Jutsu at short range. If Nano had come across the Shunshin no Jutsu, it would have achieved that short range movement technique sooner. But it hasn't seen the hand signs of that jutsu even once. So Naruto was left with performing the replacement technique repeatedly and polishing it little by little. Everyone performed the signs, but not at the level I wanted. We will continue to sign practice for 2 more days before performing the jutsu. And don't try to perform the jutsu at your home. With that, Iruka finished the class. Naruto not only listened to his class, he actively eavesdropped on other classes like his senior batch. While he didn't learn any new ninjutsu of any kind, he came to know that there were many other additional classes the students would be allowed to take from their 5th year, mainly trap making. An elective class is offered in the 5th year. He also started reading books on that topic. There were several other elective classes, but Naruto didn't have much interest in them for now, so his focus was only on trap making. If he labored a little bit more, he would have known about Fuinjutsu, but it would be still another year before he knows about the art of seals. And that's it for part 2 of this amazing what-if scenario. I hope you enjoyed watching how Naruto used his nanotic skills. What do you think will happen next in this story? Will Naruto learn more about his nanotic abilities? Will he face new enemies and allies along his journey? Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more awesome what-if videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm the Sensei signing out.
On back for the next say song. Never tell a fact that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn, know I got stacks in the lab, taking bitches straight for another cat.